Hi, welcome to my channel with Magic Megan. I'm Megan. No, I'm Patricia. This is Patricia. My name is called With Magic Megan, but my name's Patricia. Wait, wouldn't that be funny? It's not true. My name's Megan. I'm just being I'm being goofy. I'm gonna read some cards. I actually just had this like weird thought about like, what if I try to read cards from Saturn? Like, what if Saturn wanted to speak? There's something about Earth and Saturn. I kind of had this idea of like each planet, like the way we have like ages, like the age of Pisces, the age of Aquarius, and all of these different cycles. I think there's like a cycle too where a planet, where like Earth lives under like the rulership of a planet for a epoch or a period of time. And I would say that if you were to like look at it that way, what planet would have been ruling this epoch of time that we're all living in? I think that we could agree that, I keep seeing the High Priestess as I'm like shuffling these cards. We can agree that, I don't know, can we agree? Well, it's my opinion that Saturn and the themes of Saturn have been very closely aligned with the external world of Earth and kind of the direction that we're going to. If you think of Saturnine things about structure and time and systems and power and, you know, working and diligence. I would say that like, yeah, that seems kind of like an overlay on the planet, that Saturn has been in dominion of Earth for some time. And there's also this idea, there's like the black cube of Saturn and all of these things, Saturnalia and whatever people worship and believe in. And yeah, so I wanted to pull some cards on that. I wanted to pull some cards. People talk about astral projecting and how they've tried to astral project to Saturn, and you do not want to astral project to Saturn. So it's like, do I even want to be tapping into the energy of Saturn? I feel like I'm an Aquarius, and if anybody can do it, it would be me. Perhaps a Capricorn, right? Or they were ruled by Saturn as well. So see, yeah, and I think you would say like, I think you could agree that some of those Capricornian ideals too have ruled our society, have ruled the external world. So let's see what Saturn wants to say. What does Saturn want? I pulled, yeah. So this is the vice versa tarot. Saturn is saying, this is this idea about being in bondage. It's a false system. Because like the Eight of Wands, or oh my gosh, Eight of Wands message. The Eight of Swords is about being is toilet paper torture. I mean, she's like bound up by her thoughts, but like, or whatever, but like she can easily cut herself free. It's just a matter of like realizing, you have the power all along. So I feel kind of like Saturn's already giving this idea of like illusion, right? This card is giving illusions. She's blindfolded and bound, and she could easily escape if she chose to do so, right? She's there's like a sense that she's waiting to see what happens, waiting as if this is like completely out of her hands, right? But it's not. Yeah. It's that illusory binding, that illusory. I just want to keep saying illusory. The cage. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have like a little I made this like a little guide for myself, and I like to look at it for words. And so I was just like trying to see what it says for the Eight of Swords on my paper. I like to like consult different meanings and it helps me get like a bigger picture for the Eight of Swords. So it's like Saturn is saying the cage. It created a prison, but it's a self-made prison where thoughts loop and the mind turns inward on itself. It creates a sense of being trapped in victim mentality, helplessness, limiting beliefs, bondage. This is literally talks about bondage. Whoa, okay. Cool. So Saturn is here to talk about bondage. Saturn, Saturnian overlay. Oh, there's the High Priestess again. Saturnian overlay on the earth. Got Saturnian overlay on the earth. What else does Saturn want to say? Okay. The Six of Cups. So these are like, there's no backs to the cards. So this would be like the front facing way. And then this is the vice versa. This way or that way. This or that. You can get with this or you can get with that. So what else does Saturn want to say? It wanted to say something about the Six of Cups, but it came on that side. The Six of Cups. There's something about our sense of nostalgia too. Saturn is speaking to the sense of nostalgia binding us, keeping us blind. There's also this idea too. Okay, so so Saturn keeps us bound in illusions, right? Illusions, bondage, a cage. And the Six of Cups, this would be like Six of Cups reversed. So normally it's like a card of, you know, childlike delights in love, right? Optimistic and nostalgia, you know, like that kind of a sweet, just a sweet, happy memory. But on this side, it says the young lovers have apparently lost track of time. Time, right? Losing track of time. Time. Illusion. The illusion. That's part of the illusion. Will there ever be another evening as beautiful as this? Will there ever, and there's like that thing that keeps us locked. This like, will there ever be another? It's like that waiting, that cage of like, will there ever be another time like this? Will there, you know, like we remember, we forget some of those like past memories that are like negative. And, you know, like a lot of times when we look back on things, we can tend to idealize the past and forget, you know, like what the truth is. So that's like kind of a cage in and of itself. It talks about, oh, I thought this was kind of interesting. Yes, will there ever be another evening as beautiful as this? Maybe not, but still, Papa says it's time to say goodnight. That's this picture up here. There's like a man up here, like at the dad, apparently looking down at these like lovers and like, all right, it's time. That's kind of like Saturn too, right? People talk about like Daddy Saturn. Like he's saying it's time to say goodnight. It kind of like puts a stop to the fun. Putting a stop to the fun. Like making this fun only be enjoyed within a very specific set of parameters, you know? But like, that's not the truth. Girls just want to have fun. Yeah, because this is like talking about too, this like this side. So when this side comes out of the Six of Cups, is take advantage of upbeat emotions to accomplish things on every level, not just the interpersonal. So it's saying like tap into that, you know, like not just, you know, but maybe tap into that upbeat attitude, that like, you know, this is like childlike innocence to accomplish other things. But it's saying to use that to do things such as work, study, or other responsibilities. that seem unimportant compared to the rapture of love. But like, I don't know. Saturn is like trying to make us think things are important that are not important. Because I mean, yeah, we can't just get, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess we can. There's a balance, right? We need to have a balance in life. But like Saturn's saying, work, study, be responsible. You don't need to get you don't need to get, but like, honestly, love is the foundation of everything on earth. Like, that is literally what earth is. Earth is the heart, the center, like the heart of the solar system, not the literal center. Okay, science, my science buffs don't come for me. Astrology buffs, astronomy buffs, don't you dare come for me. You know what I mean? It's like love is the heart of everything. And if the earth is the heart of the universe, then earth is love. And Saturn's here holding it under some sort of false cage that like we're meant to be responsible and we're meant to work and we're meant to do this. And like, no, we're meant to love freely. And we should get carried away sometimes. Why can't we get carried away in the giddiness of youth? So that's another. So wants us to be caged up, wants us to be responsible and working and grow up. Grow up, guys. Okay. What else does Saturn want to say? I keep seeing that High Priestess card. The Three of Wands. Okay, sorry if you can hear my dryer going, but I just had to go and start my dryer. So the Three of Wands is to me, it's just kind of like in the terms of Saturn, it's talking about doing. So the Three of Wands is normally the launch. You've like had the, after the Two of Wands, the vision comes like the launch. You put that thing out into the world, you've set it in motion. You've initiated, you submitted, you sent, you asked, you started, you planted, you sent, you told. It's like doing, 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 and doing, and more doing. And then you can do some more. That's what Saturn says. Saturn says, put in the work, put in the work, put in the work. You can't go do those things you want to do, those silly childhood things. You need to do, you need to send, you need to tell, you need to do these things. You have to keep working. You have to keep doing. You have to keep going. And I think maybe like, he's waiting for something to arrive. He feels well prepared to meet it. But it's like, this is barren. I'm just kind of seeing this like in another, it's like, it's this waiting. That's the thing about Saturn too. Things take time. It adds this like level of time to our manifestations that don't need to be there. Yeah, look, the Sword of Truth on the bottom of the deck. The Ace of Swords. And the Chariot. And the Fool. The truth is, we need to unbind ourselves from Saturn. The truth. What's the Ace of Swords say in this deck? So for the Ace of Swords, like if you look at this side, it's more like in the light, in the promised land, He's raising his sword, looking over this lush valley of rolling hills as far as the eye can see. It's the sense that you have found the promised land. And you're right to claim it. But here on this side, a sword is held aloft as evening falls over the land. As evening falls over the land. But see, the eagle is here too, and he carries the laurel, the victory. That's the victory. You see, the eagle was on here and to the other side, the higher perspective. Having victory. It says that this side, it means pretty much the same as this side, except for there's the added affirmation that your undertaking will be a success because the eagle is far-seeing and will be with you as you proceed, providing clarity and empowerment. So it's like Saturn kind of makes the world darker than it has to be. A cage, a kind of domineering fatherly aspect that's like do. And in the dark, even still, the sword of truth carries just as much weight. And in fact, the eagle is here to say that there will be success. And even though it is dark, you will be able to see far as you proceed with clarity and empowerment. Yes, as a darkness falls over the land. As a darkness fell over the land. As darkness fell over the land. There's something about that. What else does Saturn want to say? Oh, Saturn, dear Saturn. Three of Swords. Noticing too, we have a lot of swords, right? We have 3, Ace, the 8. It's kind of giving me like, you know, obviously like mental stuff, right? It's the mental realm. So Saturn is coming through in a mental, it's like illusionary is what it's giving. Illusionary. Not a lot of passion or emotion. So this 3 of Swords is that side, the reverse side. And it's kind of speaking to that behind the shield is this like blue chrysanthemum flower, and that's a funeral flower. It represents both grief and hope in the afterlife. Yeah, earthly chrysanthemums, they don't come in blue. So this is a symbol of the spirit's endurance. Yeah, something about him regretting his own past action. Like, clearly there's sorrow and discomfort as the rain pelts down on him. So there's sorrow and discomfort that maybe Saturn can impart here. And then there's like these little clues from Spirit if we look through them to remind us that we're not alone. The heartbreak. I keep hearing the words, it's a mind prison. So take for with that what you will. The 3 of Swords also talks about illusions breaking, right? Illusions breaking. Like Saturn can't be in charge forever, right? If it's like a procession of planets, it can't rain down, rain. It can't rain forever. It's like being trapped in fear, being told to grow up, let go of those flights of fancy, grow up, it's time to come in. Do. You've got work to do. You've got things to put out into the world. There's truth in that, in victory. It can be found. Under this illusion of Saturn, because the laurel and the eagle is still there to tell us, and right here, spirit. 2, because this is like technically the reversed version, it can be about confusion. So maybe the truth is a lot harder to find under this, you know, darkness that's fallen over the land. Truth can be hard to find, but it's there. It's there. We just have to look a little bit harder. We have to look a little bit harder. We have to pull out some of the swords and look behind the shield. And this is like about going within, doing that like that work. Because if Saturn is just a mind illusion, you know, we can free ourselves from that a lot easier than we think. If it's just a mind prison, we have to just like go within and find the spirit within ourselves. This won't last forever. That's what this is saying, that it won't last forever. This period of sorrow. Look to the future with hope for new experiences. But also remind yourself, you don't want to bring this fear and heartbreak into any new situations. So let's see. Let's get one more card from Saturn. What's the final thing Saturn wants us to know, wants to say to us? Okay. Judgment. And the Empress on the bottom. Judgment. Okay, so the Judgment, I'm just getting this, I guess, download. So it says the day of judgment is here, when all people must come naked without shame before their deity and be judged according to their deeds. And it's just giving, like, if there's like a planetary influence that lattices itself over Earth for a epoch or time being, that when that cycle comes to an end, there'll be a call to judgment. There'll be a call to judgment. And I think, like, to learn, correct the mistakes of this cycle of Saturnian influence on the Earth, right? And on the bottom is the Empress. And the Empress, a lot of people think, is Mother Earth, but it's closely tied to Venus, you know, about love, beauty, and abundance. Oh, look at that, the Two of Cups underneath. Okay. So it's giving this, like, this is what's waiting for us. This is like the next chapter, maybe a Venus-ruled planet, right? The lattice, like the Venus lattice over Earth. I feel like there's something to that. The Venusians coming here a long time ago because of their planet and things happening there. Isn't that like really gaseous? So maybe that's the new lattice, but we can't step into this new until we, you know, we learn the lessons from this cycle. You know, ask for forgiveness, offer forgiveness, Atonement is not groveling or self-loathing, but rather the acceptance of human failings and foibles. Oh my gosh, foibles. I literally just said this word yesterday. I was like, at the beginning of one of my readings, and it didn't quite, I accidentally like stopped. Maybe I'll have to go find and see what that says. There might be a message in there for me. Maybe I'll post it. But I said something about foibles. Anyways, judgment is related to justice, in that both deliver only what is fair, what has been earned, for better or worse. The judgment card can be a gift because it's an opportunity to wash your spirit clean. Yes, what did we learn during our time of Saturn? We learned that if we aren't careful, we can make our minds a cage. We can make our minds a cage if we are not careful. It's like Saturn really stripped us bare, right? Really stripped us bare. It's like a reckoning with ourselves. A reckoning for the earth. What are we doing here? What are we doing to it? Like, this needs to be like this. The Six of Cups, because look underneath, the Two of Cups. We're here to be abundant. And the earth is meant to be a playground, not a prison. Not a prison, a playground for the mind, where we co-create with spirit, not a prison for the mind. A playground. Nothing grows here. Nothing grows here. Yeah, because you can see it's like lush, and it just slowly, you know. This is giving fiery energy. It's very bright. What's it say about the other side of this card? It talks about being reborn as lighthearted, innocent child. Yeah, we're being reborn. But we have to go through, you know, Saturn. We have to return. You know, everyone has their Saturn returns. Maybe Earth just had her Saturn return, right? Just think about that. It's not an easy time, you know, we could feel restricted. We can feel like we need to grow up, because it happens a lot. Like, I think it happens like when you're around 25 to 30 or somewhere around there. And so that's like a time when it's like you go from being a child to a grown-up, and suddenly things change, you know. It's not, let's just jump into the river and have fun. Dad's saying, no, you need to go. You need to go and work. You need to go and do. You need to go and say. You need to go and be in the world. Even if that world is a little dark and the truths, you know, the information are a little bit muddled and confusing, that clarity is there. You just have to look deep within. It's there if you find it. Once we find it, is this all worth it? Was it worth it? The sun. This is the sun. Like the sun is saying, okay, you've been under the influence of Saturn. For this epoch, what have you learned? And what are you going to take forward into your new cycle, the Venus cycle? Okay, well, let's just get like one card then. Spirit, what's like, if we're moving into a Venus cycle on Earth, what's something we can expect? What's like one, I'm not taking that. What's one What can we expect? What's one, this Venus cycle? Oh my gosh, it's on the, again, abundance, the Empress, all of those things. A new story. Okay, so this is like the front side of the Fool. And then this is the back side. But I noticed that there's this in the sky. So what's to come is this, the Fool. So I'm going to just read it to you because, okay, remember how I was talking about the land being barren before and nothing growing there, and then like all the lush stuff. So this is returning. The lushness is returning, right, in this card. So I just started reading the book on what it says for that card. So let me just read it to you. So this is that side. Though the land he leaves behind is barren, the land that lies before him is green and welcoming. Gently rolling hills promise an easier journey once the descent from the precipice is made. The evening sky begins to scintillate with stars that shine down on the unseeing Fool. He is not alone after all. His faithful dog accompanies him. Bathed in the warmth light of the setting sun, the dog keeps watch for his sightless master and observes the comet that blazes across the sky. Something good is on the horizon, though you may not know yet what it is. Where you are heading is better than where you've been. So don't be afraid to continue along this path. Trust your instincts and be guided by them, and be aware of signs that may seem portentous. Okay, we'll have to look that up. These don't have to be as obvious as a comet. Sometimes the smallest changes can be enough to alter your trajectory in a meaningful way. So, yeah, we are not alone after all. And maybe that's kind of what, because Saturn is about individualism too, right? And so I think if we're stepping into a Venus cycle and saying it's good, it's all good. All right, well, that was a long one. Hopefully you got something from this. That was kind of fun. And yeah, thanks. Bye.